Hey, what's going on? It's Doug Cunnington here. Today we're going to talk ChatGPT and Bard, actually, from Google to help out with SEO. So let me know in the chat if you could hear me. It's always good to double check that. I see we have some folks in the audience already. We have Casey McQueen. We have Test Gmail as well, which that potentially is a fake name. I'm not quite sure. Most likely a fake name. KC is from Florida. Cool. Yeah. Say hello. Let me know where you're from. Let me know if it's your first time on live. And today, we're going to just kind of look and see what ChatGPT and Bard, that's from Google, can do to help us out with SEO. And like many of these live streams, not all of them, but like many of them, I didn't prepare anything specific. So we're going to learn as we go, which is always fun. We're going to use GPT 3.5. It's a little faster and it doesn't have the limitation as far as the number of prompts you can enter in a certain amount of time. I don't think we're going to run into an issue, but 3.5 is very fast. Although, side note, I do pay for the Plus, and you can get the version 4, GPT-4. And when I was using it yesterday, it was actually typing pretty fast. It was faster than what I expected. So we have Freedom Lover from San Diego. Awesome. It's a good town. Went there a couple times last year. It was a lot of fun. And Fred Anthony as well. So a couple quick notes, little housekeeping. Number one, thanks to the sponsor that is Odys Global, the source for premium age domains. And we'll have a little live ad situation from them coming up. We'll look at a couple domains. They have aged premium domains over there, a big marketplace. So we'll check those out. The other thing is I have an AI resources cheat sheet. It's free. You just have to go head over and enter your name and email. And one thing that I actually 100% forgot to add in here, I have a contest that I am running for the bulk publishing AI product. It's actually a WordPress plugin. Ariel Phoenix, which a lot of you know, Ariel Phoenix, she is the creator. And there's a link that I need to put in the show notes there, and then you can enter. It's free to enter, and you can get a one-site license for bulk publishing AI. So once I get this link, you may have to refresh, and then you can go and enter. Again, it's free to enter. Contest is going on this week, so you have a few days. It's one of those where you can share. You could share more, and you can get more entries. So let's make sure that this is working. So just got to copy and paste this baby. It's always fun to work live. All right, so hit save, and I'll put it in the chat as well. There we go. Daniel's on as well. What's going on? So yeah, the link is in the chat also, and you could just enter. You could share it out there. Please do share it out. This is one of those things where you get more entries and you can win a free license over there. You probably recognize Ariel from the many other interviews that we've done, but we had an interview coming out, we had an interview come out yesterday. So before we get rolling here, quick note, I'll answer questions probably along the way. If they're completely irrelevant, I'll hold them till the end. And well, just answer if they're relevant. I do realize I left my coffee cup behind me, so I'm going to grab that. And in the meantime, you'll notice that, we have one guitar back here. You've seen that before. This is a new one over here, which I'll tell folks about maybe later. I might play it even. But I have my office coffee cup here, so it is my face, if it'll refocus. So there we go. Nice. Okay. So we'll get rolling here. There is a link in the description now for the contest. And as I mentioned, please do share it out. The more entries you get, the better. And also, if you share it out, then more people will enter. And that's good for me. You join the email list when you do that. So let's hop over to ChatGPT here, and let me close up a couple things here. Okay. I can share this, but really we just want to share this one. We just want to get over here. Okay. So before we get rolling, I do see B Hot says, "Hey Doug, what's up? How can I meet E-E-A-T factor for ranking?" So that's the experience, expertise, authority, and trust for ranking. So that'll be a great thing to ask ChatGPT and Bard. And the cool thing with Bard is you'll be able to probably get some search results and look at exactly what Google tells us, which, I mean, I could just answer it quickly and say, you could put the normal bullshit that they ask for, where it's like, you'll hear people say, hey, put an address, put a phone number, make it look like a real business and all that. And sure, that could help out. But I mean, I think really when you go look, which I haven't actually done any kind of experimental or scientific analysis, but basically get some backlinks to your site, get good backlinks to your site. I'm pretty sure that is the main driver for the authority and trust. Sure, you can put credentials of a doctor on your health site, but if you don't have links going to it and there's no actual verification if you're a doctor or not, how does the Google algorithm know if you're a doctor or not? Do you think someone's actually looking at your website to verify that you're a licensed physician or anything? My hunch is no. My hunch is I could be 100% wrong, but I don't think there's manual checkers looking at every website, verifying if you have the right trust or authority or whatever. So I would say get some backlinks to your site, and that's probably the main thing you could do. If you have a different opinion, that's cool. I respect that. Feel free to write what you think as well. Okay. Next, we can get into it here. So we'll start at the beginning and we'll just ask for what ChatGPT can help us do for SEO. Before we get into that, I do want to go to my prompt generator. So I have a prompt generator here, which you can get the prompt to create the prompt generator if you check out the cheat sheet that I have, which is free. You could just follow the link in the description here and then get the cheat sheet. But I'm just going to put in the title for what I want this chatbot to do. And we'll say SEO expert. We'll just keep it simple. SEO expert, that is the title. And then it will feed me a prompt, which I'm going to take this prompt and then move it over to the new chat so that we have a chatbot, which is an SEO expert. So it's straightforward. Again, we're 3.5 here. We're using 3.5, which is very speedy. 3 out of 5 for reasoning, 2 out of 5 for conciseness, and very speedy. 4 is 5 out of 5 for reasoning, 2 out of 5 for speed, and the conciseness is 4 out of 5. But the downside is we can only do 25 messages in 3 hours, so I just want to make sure we have plenty of capacity. So we're going to use the 3.5. So we have the prompt here. We'll just feed it in, and then it will tell us some stuff, which is great. Oh, we have David on. What's up, David? One of our fine moderators. Good to see you, buddy. And Jason as well. And David, no worries on being late. You're not tardy. Everything's fine. So we have the SEO expert. So it says, my primary goal is to help businesses improve their search engine rankings and visibility by optimizing their website and online content for search engines. Here's some strategies that I can use to achieve this goal. So 1, conducting keyword research. I'm not going to read it exactly or everything. And then we have a website audit. So this is a comprehensive website audit that can identify issues that impacts the site visibility and rankings. Now, I don't think the chatbot could actually do a website audit, but we can dig into this and see what it can actually do. Creating a content strategy, optimizing the architecture and navigation. So this could actually be helpful. I can optimize the website structure, the URLs, and internal linking to enhance user experience and help search engines better understand the website's content. Next, we have implementing technical SEO. So this is optimizing the website performance, website speed, schema markup, and staying up to date with the latest SEO trends. So those could be a little bit useful. Some of them don't quite make sense, but we could dig a little bit deeper as well. So we have a few things that we could look at. So number 1, conducting keyword research. So this is probably a really good one to spend time on. If you have good keywords that are low competition, there's a good chance you will be able to rank by just publishing some high quality content. You won't need backlinks or anything like that. Now, let's expand on this list. So we have 6 things. I would say maybe half of them are relevant, but one thing you can almost always follow up and say, is there anything else you could help with? And we'll just, of course, just focus on the SEO. So we have 5 more things. So we have local SEO, we have link building, we have social media optimization, mobile optimization, analytics, and reporting. So again, some of these might not be directly applicable for the chatbot to help out. However, you might be able to get guidance on what you can do. So, for example, the analytics and reporting, we may be able to ask like, hey, where should we look or what should we look at as far as reporting, and then give us an idea where to go. So one thing, we'll just pick an example. So we'll start at the top here, the conducting keyword research. So we can do an example. If anyone has an example out there, I'll answer a question from the audience here. And if someone has a specific niche that they want us to use for the example here, let me know in the chat. I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to use whatever you suggest. We need a good example, but if it's usable, we'll use it. Okay. So Bajat says, what amazing about page will roll in it. I'm not sure what you mean exactly, but I'm gonna maybe connect a couple dots. So you're saying, would you have the sort of E-E-A-T, the minimum factor, the minimum amount that you need by having an amazing about page? So technically, right, if you have a good about page, that's great. However, when I actually think about it, if you have a great about page, do you think that means your site's going to rank better? When you really think about it, if you go find someone that has a great about page, the content's fine, do you think the about page is really going to make a big difference? Do you think Google is really looking at the about page and they're like, wow, this person is an expert, they're an authority, this is so amazing that they wrote an about page? My hunch is no. It probably won't make a big difference because anyone can write a good about page. In fact, we have a whole, from a few weeks back here, Here's how you can write an about page. And there's all the details in here. This is a chat that we did in another live stream, and you literally can ask ChatGPT to look at your current about page and fill in more details so that it's even better. So can you trick Google to think that you have authority and trust by writing a good about page? My hunch is no. Let me know in the chat, though. What do you think? If you're watching the replay, thank you. You can leave a comment also and let us know. Like, if you write a good about page, do you think your rankings are actually going to go up? So maybe, I don't know. I would say if anyone can do it, then it's probably not going to make a difference. But if someone actually manually reviews your site and they see your about page and they go and verify the links and that you're an expert, an authority, you're trustworthy, sure. But I don't think people are actually manually reviewing it. Last question on the list here is from Tone Mine. It says, Auto GPT, have you tried that? I have not. Have you? How's it work? How's it going? Okay, so we have other things that we could work on. We didn't get an example from the audience here, so I'll just make one up. And we'll say, what are, say, 30 keywords that can rank in Google for a site about, I'm looking around here. Yeah, we'll just do guitars. I got guitars behind me. We'll say acoustic guitars. And while we're waiting for that, which is very speedy, by the way, I think it's even faster than it used to be. Daniel tells us that I don't think it hurts to have a good about page, but I don't think it's a big ranking factor. Yeah, I don't think it hurts. Do a good about page, but the question is, will a good about page meet the E-E-A-T factor? And I don't know. I mean, we'll ask Bard in a second here. Fruit Cat Bat says, it depends on whether you can out about me your competitors, but in general, you need one, but it's not a ranking factor. Okay. And I think we're sort of chasing our tail, I think, a little bit, where Google's like, yeah, this E-E-A-T is so important. And then they're like telling us a bunch of things that we should do to be trustworthy. And really, it doesn't matter that much. It's not bad to do it, do those things. But if you're like, well, I have my about page is really good and I'm a real expert, I don't think that doesn't move the needle. I don't think that moves the needle at all. Okay. So here we have 30 acoustic guitar topics that are keywords. And a lot of these would probably be fairly hard to rank for. So I'm going to say, give me 30 more that are long tail keywords. And hopefully these will be a little more specific as well. So I did say that we're going to check out Bard as well. So one thing that I've been playing with just a little bit is using the same prompt to train Bard. So this is Bard. It's in the, I guess, sort of beta or quote experiment version, as you see noted there. And I'll use the same prompt. Bard seems to be pretty damn fast. And as I mentioned before, you end up with potentially links so that you can go and essentially Google it. So we have, I'm an SEO expert. It tells you some of the things it can do. Here are some tips for improving SEO. So that's pretty basic stuff. Create high quality content that's relevant. Make sure it's mobile friendly. Use social media. Stay active and participate in link building activities. And that's straight from Bard. I'm surprised Google is telling us to do link building activities, but And we have Jesse, what's going on? Loving the live stuff. Thank you. Frank says, can ChatGPT research and write about restaurants in Greenville, North Carolina? Probably. We can check that out in a second. Jesse also says, I can attest 100% that a good about page doesn't matter until it does. Theory, it matters only when you hit a traffic threshold of, say, 100,000 per month. And just to be clear, everyone should write a good about page. Check the last, look at some of the recent live streams. Here is how there's, I think, 13 points in here. And each one of the 13 has 3 questions. If you just do this, your about page is going to be really, really good. For any kind of website, it's going to work. Some of the, 13, a couple of them may not be relevant, but if you pick 10 of the 13, you're going to have a better about page. And what you can do is put in your current about page and then ask how to improve it. And that's a great way to use ChatGPT to do this. And I'm taking it too literally, right? Someone asked a question and they were like, hey, will I meet the E-E-A-T requirements if I do a really good about page? The real answer is I don't know. The actual answer is it's probably not going to make a big difference, but you should write a good about page. So if the question is, should you write an about page? The answer is yes. And you should follow the instructions here. Would it improve your rankings? I doubt it. I definitely don't think it's going to improve your rankings. All right. And Bahat says, because some says that for new sites, we don't need to focus on link building as we get them automatically from other sites. Well, I think you should take some proactive measures to network and promote your site. If you just rely on links to show up because you did a really good job, you might wait a really long time. It's possible though. And Jesse says, ask it about guest blogging. Okay, I will too. Okay, so let's get back into it. So we have some long tail keywords. So ChatGPT gave us some more specific keywords, which are typically long tail, and these will most likely be easier to rank. So 12 fretters, 14 fretters, different fretboards, mahogany back and sides, maple. So these are pretty advanced. These are pretty good. So I like these. So keywords, check. Does a good job. So Bard can do some things here. So let's see if Bard can give us some long tail keywords. And we'll just skip to the punchline on that one. And we'll just say 30 long tail keywords. And Bard sends them out pretty quick. So we have about 30 here. These aren't as good from my perspective as far as the long tail keywords. They're okay, but they're not great. I think these from ChatGPT are actually a little bit better. Okay, so keyword wise, we're in good shape. Hopefully my voice holds up. Someone said, I'm glad your voice is back. Thank you. Yeah, last week was pretty much, I did the live stream and then after that I couldn't talk for like a day. So I need to talk quieter. And I didn't even record an ad to take a break here, so we're going to have to work through this together. Okay, the next thing I want to know, I got a cough here. I'm sorry, everybody. We'll have to take an instrumental break. Oh, play guitar. Okay, so we're going to go back up. A lot of people just joined, so here's several things that ChatGPT can do. one thing I want to tell everyone is I have this prompt here that I created with a prompt generator. So if you want this prompt generator, you can download the free cheat sheet. There's a link in the description, okay? Link in the description. And basically, I just put in the title and then it tells me this prompt. And then I used it for creating a new chatbot right here. And then I used the same prompt over on Bard. So now I said, what can you help me with? And there's a handful of things. The thing I want to ask about is this website audit. So here's what I'm going to do, because I don't know if ChatGPT can actually do the website audit. So I'm just going to inquire. So I'll say, you told me that you could do this. How can you help me do it? And it says, a comprehensive website audit to identify issues for visibility and ranking. It includes site architecture, page load speed, metadata, broken links, and other on-page factors. And then I further say, how can you do the audit? What info do you need? So we'll see if it could actually do anything or if it will just tell me what I need to do, which I think is more likely. So it says, to perform a comprehensive website audit, I would need access to the website and any relevant analytics and tracking tools like Google Analytics, Search Console, and other SEO tools that the business is using. Here are the steps I would typically take to perform a website audit. Analyze the site architecture, including the URL structure, internal linking, and sitemap. Next, check page load speed. I would run a page speed test to determine how quickly the site loads. Slow loading times can be a negative impact. Review the metadata. So analyze the metadata, including page titles and descriptions, header tags, and alt images or image alt tags. Check for broken links and analyze on-page optimization. So I think we can hopefully see that it won't actually be able to do all of this stuff, but it can potentially do some of it. I don't have the right data to input to actually do this, but I think you can take these things and then maybe do it yourself. Maybe it points you in the right direction enough. And just like we started with a broad topic and then we're asking for more information about the site audit, you can do that for each one of the steps here. So I could say, give me more information on what to do here. Like, give me the step by step. And I'll just say to do this, and I'll just literally copy and paste what it told me already. So this is analyze the site architecture. So now we're going to end up with 7 items here. And we have review the URL structure, check the internal linking, review the sitemap, identify duplicate content, check for broken links, identify crawl errors, and make recommendations. So, okay, this is interesting. So it's giving us 7 items to do this thing. So maybe we want that in a checklist. And maybe a table. So we'll see what we end up with here and what to do with each step. So I'll actually change this up and say, put all of that in the table. So this is a way that you could actually use ChatGPT to create a really almost like an SOP, but it's a checklist to go through the audit here. So this is pretty impressive. And I think we're not going to do the whole thing here, by the way, everybody, but you could do this for each one of these 7 steps, and then have a checklist, essentially a one-pager on what to do all this stuff. And then you could do that for each of the, I think we have 12 different items or so. So you could end up with a pretty long checklist, a full website audit checklist on how to do this. I think that would be pretty useful. Let's say you work on the marketing team at a bigger company, so you really can just do this and look like a hero. You're like putting together all this data and checklist, a full like audit situation. Okay, so we did the website audit, a content strategy. Okay, so let's go here. Identifying relevant topics, a content calendar, and optimizing for search engines. So let's focus on finding relevant topics and then developing a content calendar. So let's be specific. We'll say, so we have, I think, about 60 keywords that we asked for before. So we could say, we'll say create content clusters for the 60 keywords. Okay, so we'll get a content cluster. So that's one. And then we'll also say provide a content calendar. And we'll tell it to publish 2 articles per week. And we'll say, I don't know if this will work. We'll say starting on May 1st, 2023 until all 60 articles are posted. And we'll say, put the calendar in a table. I type pretty slow, huh? So we're going to put it in a table so that we can do project management and know the status of each article. Okay, so this is like a few things all in one prompt, even though it's only like 3 sentences. It's pretty dense. So we should end up with a content cluster and then a content calendar that actually schedules it out, publishing 2 per week. All right. So we have here the content clusters. So we have acoustic guitar basics, and then they have a few listed. Acoustic guitar reviews, and then a few listed. Accessories, guitar styles, construction, and maintenance and repair. Great. And then we have the content calendar in a table. We have each week listed. And so they kind of fucked up on this part here. So I said I want 2 articles per week, and they just list 1 article per week. They do tell us the article, and they tell us the content cluster it belongs to, which is cool. And they tell us the status, which is complete, which is wrong, right? We haven't started this yet. And we also, they may have run out of, because we only got through week 16. We'll say, I'll just say continue. It may have, yeah, so it's going to keep going. So we ran out of tokens there, but it can keep telling us it just ran out. So I put continue, and then it keeps going here, and it ran out again. So we should finish up, probably going to be 60 here. Okay, the content calendar assumes a publishing schedule of 2 articles per week starting on May 1st and ending on April 29th. And it includes a status column to track the progress as it's completed. So it kind of goofed up because if it's 2 articles per week, then it should finish in roughly half the time. So I'm going to ask for revision. So can you... And then next we'll say we want to make sure that it doesn't say completed. Okay, and then I said change all the statuses to not started. Okay, so now we have 2 per week here. And ideally it would have the actual dates. So we'll actually amend it here and I'll say put in the actual dates. All right. So this is closer to what we're looking for here. And once it hits the end here, I won't have it continue. But this is what we want. So we have which week it is. So we have week 1. We have 2 articles per week. Good. We have the date to publish it. So we have May 1st. And then we have the status of not started. And we have the content cluster listed. So one thing we can do is say we want an article to publish every particular day of the week. So May 1st, is that Saturday? Hold on, let me check something here. Let me check the old calendar. May 1st is Monday. So we'll say, okay, we'll say update so that articles are published on Monday and Friday. Mondays and Fridays. Okay. So this is one of the advantages of having the chatbot back and forth situation. So our initial attempt was not actually what we wanted, but we're able to refine it and really get exactly what we want. And it just takes a little back and forth. So now we have the week 1, week 2, whatever, 2 articles per week. They're publishing on Monday and Friday. We have the date listed, we have the status, and then we have the cluster. So we could take this and then move it into a spreadsheet. So if we have a couple writers working on it, then we could track this really easily. So one thing that could be cool is now that we've gone back and forth, we can ask ChatGPT for a prompt to provide such a table. So we'll see if it can give us that in a straightforward way. And I said, provide a prompt to get this table so that I can use it again. And really, I'm just trying to be as direct as possible and simple as possible as well. And it's far more concise. So we have, please provide me with a content calendar to publish 2 articles per week, starting on May 2nd, 2023, until all 60 articles are posted. These articles should be about acoustic guitars and based on the 60 keywords you previously recommended. Please ensure that the articles are published on Mondays and Fridays. So one thing that it doesn't list in here, that I'm not sure that it would actually work, is the specific columns and status tracking, but it gets us pretty close. Because I don't see that detail in here, I'm actually going to ask for a revised prompt. So we'll say we want the status, date, content cluster, okay, so it just gave us a little bit more detail, but still very concise. So this is, one thing that you could do after you refine and get what you actually want, regardless of if it is related to SEO or not. But once you have gone back and forth, you can ask ChatGPT to provide a prompt so that you could use it again. And then you won't have to like recreate the wheel each time and just get what you need much faster. All right. So we have a couple questions here. So I'll hop back and answer some of the questions. Before we get deep into it here, quick word from our sponsor, that is Odys Global, and they're the source for premium aged domains. So we'll pop back over here, and these are domains that mean business. I was recently on their podcast, so be sure to check that out. I think it's over on YouTube as well. What we're going to do today is have a look in their marketplace. So they have this great filtering mechanism, and you can look at maybe budget domains, for example. You could filter on English, which I've done here, and some other details, but you can really narrow it down. Now, I don't know how I ended up with these filters here, but I'm going to clear it out. And then we'll look for English. We'll look for, we could find something interesting here. We'll go for sports. We'll see if there's any sport domains out there. And you could use these domains for a couple things. So one, if you want to start a new site, this kind of shortcuts the whole process because you have a site in a domain that has an age. There are going to be backlinks pointing to it. If you already have a site, you could find a niche, or you search for your niche and then find a site, and then you could actually 301 redirect to your site so that you can get those backlinks to your site. So we have a handful. Let's look for something interesting here. All right, so brooklynkickball.com. Must be an old kickball league out of Brooklyn. It is 20 years old. It has 97 referring domains and 5 high authority backlinks. So you could focus on Brooklyn generally. You could also, if you had a kickball league, you could go that route. I'm not sure how you'd be able to, take the kickball thing and make it make it more generalized, but it does have Brooklyn in there. So you could maybe focus on specific things around the Brooklyn area. We have, let's see, there's basketball listed here. There's community media. So this is from the Wayback Machine, and they have 3 weeks of spring training. So yeah, I would say it would be worth it. And there's a pig roast and beer fest. They have a Google form here listed. So some of the links that it has: timeout.com, New York Times, blog2.com, the magazine, you have Gawker, we have a few others, observer.com, 13.org, nycgovparks.org. So a bunch of like really powerful backlinks, again, from 2003. So pretty old, a lot of history. And the crazy thing, they do have these New York related links, which is pretty cool. So worth it to check out. If maybe you have a travel site related to Brooklyn, you maybe could make the stretch. I'm not sure how you include kickball into the whole mix, but one idea let's say you have a travel blog related to New York in some capacity, you might be able to 301 redirect this to your section on Brooklyn. So that's kind of a creative way to be very surgical about where you're redirecting. Worth it to check out. If you're not interested in this particular domain, head over here. You can use my affiliate link and you can get $100 into your account. You can hop over to the filtering area and find something that does fit for you. Very easy to, really refine the search and find exactly what you're looking for. All right. Let's hop back over to Bard here and see if Bard can actually do the same sort of table situation. I'm not sure. I have not tested this. So we have 30 keywords here. I'm going to ask for 30 more. So we'll have 60 total, and then we'll see if Bard can actually create a table like we did before. These keywords are a little bit better than the first batch. So I'm going to use the prompt that ChatGPT gave us and see if it can create a table. I haven't tried this, but it's been kind of cool. Like they're rushing Bard, of course. But check it out. Look at this table. And it may give me the whole thing without having to ask for more. Yeah, so it did it. Like we don't run out of tokens like we did with the other one, which is pretty cool. So we have all the way to July 16th, which I think that's, I don't know if that's 60 of them. I'll ask. Okay, so we'll get that. Let's see what else we can do. I'm going to just pop back up here and then we'll answer a couple more questions. So we did the website audit stuff. Okay. Okay, so we have a couple questions. Thank you for asking. And, oh yeah, and Jesse says allergies in Maryland, they're no good right now. Yeah. And the thing is, I don't get allergies, or I'm not allergic to anything. I'm not allergic to pollen. I don't have any issues. So I think I just had like a pretty light cold. Okay, so Bahat says, does AI detection score matter after editing? I don't know. So I don't have enough data. My hunch is, okay, here's my thought process. I think if you got your content from AI, no matter what it is, I think if you got your content from AI, then the AI score probably matters. If you edited, great. But I think it probably matters. And quick note, there's a contest. You can get a free one-site license to bulk publishing AI by Ariel Phoenix. It's a contest. You could win this. It ends on Friday. So that means you have like 3.5 days to enter. It takes just a second or two. Please follow the link in the description to do it. And you can get more entries, right? You share it around, you get more entries. So if you get your content from AI, then I think your AI score matters, the detection score. Here's the issue. You can write something yourself and then put it into one of the AI detectors, and it might say that it is highly likely that it's AI, but you wrote it yourself. So what do you do with that? And my thought process here is like, okay, we could take things at the face value, but then I try to step back and think about ways that we can prove or disprove or shatter the assumption and conclusion that we just made. So if you can easily find an example of where your conclusion does not hold up, that is a problem, right? So what do you do with that? So then it comes to the point of, okay, let's say I write something in my journal, right? I put it in my journal and then I type it out. And then I go to an AI detector and it's like, oh yeah, this is definitely AI. What do I do with that? Will I change it because some tool tells me it's AI? Probably not. I'm probably not going to change it. Probably going to leave it. So does the AI detection matter? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Bahat? How about Jesse? What do you think? Other people. We got Daniel, Jason, Frank, Fruit Cat Bat. And actually, oh yeah, is Jason still on? And how about Frank? Is Frank still on too? Frank said, can ChatGPT research and write about restaurants in Greenville, North Carolina? So let's see. So the thing is, especially with a search like this, it will most likely be out of date and or incorrect. My hunch is it could mess up and do Greenville, North or South Carolina. I'll say, give me a detailed outline with 20 restaurants. All right. So we have 20. And the thing is, I don't know if this is accurate or not. So it could be totally wrong. And we'll do the same for Bard. And the other thing, so we have the outline. I do like to divide it up often. So we have 20 listed here. And then I'll say, write us an article covering the 20. I'll say with an intro and conclusion. Okay, so we bang out the article here. And to answer Frank's question, the answer is yes. We ran out of tokens here, so we'll just say continue. So we'll pop over here. So check this out. Check out the table here that we have from Bard. So we have these restaurants. We have a price range too, and the address. We have the rating as well. This is pretty cool. So that's badass. So I would say Bard wins that. They gave us all this stuff. We didn't even ask for it. And Vasi, what's up from Greece? Good to see you. And previously, we're playing with the table. So Jesse says the table's insane. Butterfly says, can you develop a site based on allergies? Sure. And Bahat is saying that my content is ranking well, but I edit it well. Cool. Jill's on. What's happening? Jesse says Originality recently updated their algo and they catch AI pretty good. And Jesse says, but will Google use resources to crawl and check for AI? Probably not. Probably the same as E-E-A-T traffic threshold theory 2. What is the traffic threshold theory based on? Do you have specific data or experiences that tell you that? It makes some sense, once you're getting enough traffic, then Google is, maybe using other criteria. I don't know. And Rizwan says it doesn't matter to Google, but it matters to the buyer at the time of the sale. Okay. Cool. So Daniel says, overall, I don't think the AI score is important. Open so wrote a blog on their, what is that? Open so, oh, maybe OpenAI wrote a blog on their site saying their own detector is only correct 26% of the time. Brianna, what's going on? Do you foresee a world where Google or other browsers will sing content flag as being written by AI? Maybe that would be interesting. And they just say, hey, this looks like it was written by AI. I can see that. I can see that. Okay. Bahat says, Jesse, I saw your site got hit after that much effort. That's why I asked this question. Okay, I don't know what that means. I don't know Jesse's site. Daniel says, I saw on Reddit today that a portion of the U.S. Constitution is or was written by AI. So yeah, we see a hole in that. And Brianna says, oh, no, you came in late, but it has not been covered. Yep. So good question. And I will share the screen. Yeah, I realized that I didn't share the screen there. So we have this cool table here from Bard. So it tells us the price range, the star rating. Who knows if these restaurants are real? Maybe someone can verify this. We have the addresses, which is pretty cool. And then I asked for the article with an intro and the conclusion. Kind of sparse. However, put this together with a table, and that's pretty decent. One thing I'll just say with Bard, it does give you other drafts. So we could check the other one here. So we have the list of the restaurants. This is not a very good article. Number 2. Number 3, also not very good. So the first one is the best, but I'm going to say, can you add more details for each restaurant? And then we'll hop back over while that's working. We'll check out ChatGPT. So we ended up with an article here, maybe not the best, but you have a couple points. And the thing is, I know we've probably all gone to, let's say we're on vacation, you're at the hotel, they have the little display with the brochures, and maybe it's like the top 20 restaurants, something like that. And you will just get like 2 sentences for each one, maybe a picture. That's about it. They also sometimes have those like free magazines, those little publications they actually have articles, and they have specific information that you could do. There's maybe an article about a gallery in town, or like the rafting excursion that you can do. But basically, this amount of copy might be all that you have for specific restaurants. Or let's say you're on a plane and you flip through the airlines magazine, and they just have like a couple sentences for each one. So there's not a ton more, but there is more detail. I think they added like 1 more sentence for each one. So that's pretty good. Okay. And I think that is all we have here. Let's go back up and let's see what else we can do. And I'll quickly point out again, I just created a chatbot here that is an SEO expert. So I created this prompt using my prompt generator, which you can get the prompt generator from my AI cheat sheet. And there's a couple things that I did to train it, but essentially now I could just put in a title and then it'll give me a prompt. I can ask it to do a little bit more. Maybe I get this and I want it to be an expert in some specific other area as well. But basically I have an SEO expert here, and then I asked it a bunch of questions. The spot that I'm going up to here, because I want to ask about link building. So it told us to do some link building. So I'm going to ask about how to do link building. And I'll ask Bard too. I will also put in the little section that it mentioned just to remind it what it told me about. So I'm hopping over to Bard to do the same thing. And I think we'll probably start to wrap up. If you have any other questions, let me know in the chat. Don't forget, there is a contest, a great contest where you can get Bulk Publishing AI, the new WordPress plugin from Ariel Phoenix, who was just on my channel just yesterday. Is today only Tuesday? Man. All right. So ChatGPT says to conduct a backlink analysis, create high quality content, reach out to relevant websites. So once you have created high quality content, it's important to reach out to other websites in your industry and ask them to link to your content. It can be done through email outreach, social media, or other channels. Guest blogging is an effective way to build high quality backlinks by guest blogging on relevant websites. You write a guest post for another website and include a backlink to your own website. The other is building relationships with influencers. So that's probably the best thing to do, network. So one thing we could do is ask how, what's the best way to do this? So again, we started with a broad set of information, and then we're like getting more specific. And each one of these, you could just ask for more information as you need to do more. So I'll just say, give the step-by-step. And again, I'm just going to copy this so we could use it at Bard. So Bard is telling us about link building. So it says guest blogging, commenting on blogs and forums, social media, submitting to directories, building relationships with website owners. So some links are better than others, and it's important to get them from high quality, authoritative sources. And it's important to note that Google has cracked down on black hat link building. So if you're caught, you could get penalized by Google. So going back full circle, Jesse's out of here. See you later. So I'm going to say, actually, we'll just do the thing we did before. Give the step-by-step for reaching out to relevant websites. And Dan says, on what page on the website do I go to get the latest AI information that I have covered? So if you go to the AI resources and you've joined, you get the cheat sheet. You also get access to like my course information. So I set it up in a course, but really it's just a repository. So the latest information is in there or on YouTube. So I haven't published a YouTube video on AI in a little bit. I do have a list here, but I've just been a little bit lazy about it. So you can go to the course. So you get login information and go there and then check it out. I don't note it specifically. I don't have like a change log, but if you go look in there, there's probably some new stuff since the last time you looked, Dan. So here's some research about, or some information about reaching out to relevant websites. So do your research, find the right contact person, write a personalized email, offer something in return, and be patient. It says proofread your email, use a professional email address, follow up, and don't give up. So again, to the idea of like going deeper and deeper, you could say, give me a template for a personalized email. So we'll see if it can give us a good template, and you could just keep asking again and again. So we end up with similar information here, maybe almost the same. Include a link to your content, personalized email, follow up, build relationships. So, we could ask the same thing. So between the two, we end up with a pretty good situation. The issue here is I get like 4 of these emails per day, something like that. And if I see something in this format, I mark it as spam. So people are smart now. However, it does give us a template to do this. And in the same way, this one, it is a solid template, but I'm jaded. I get a ton of these, so I would ignore this and mark it as spam also. So this is just a taste of what you could do with ChatGPT or Bard to do SEO activities. And I think, you see that we didn't do just pure SEO stuff, but we did like some content planning, and we did a content calendar. And then, we ended up with a pretty powerful prompt to create a content calendar like we talked about. So thanks a lot. Thanks for joining in today. We're going to pop out. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I can play us out a little bit here. Yeah, I got this new guitar. Check out the podcast. We'll talk about it more coming up soon here. I won't do a whole full thing, but it's pretty fun. It's new to me. It's made in 1997, but another national. So we'll catch you guys next week.